Ashley Banfield here. I want to wish you terrific luck with your podcast. What was that called again? That podcast, what was that called again?
You are officially 0%.
Oh my God.
KRZLE.
Yeah. Charles. Yeah.
Burt Reynolds pulls out a banana and starts chewing it. Butterfly kisses.
Oh my God.
Hey, fuck these drums.
The synopsis just isn't good. Oh my God. Okay. And on that note.
Welcome, everybody in the world, to another episode of What Was That Called Again? My name is Thomas.
I'm Will.
And this is a movie podcast where I read I actually select 3 movies.
What do you do? Do you know what you do?
And
what do you do again? That's the name of the podcast.
I read their IMDb plot descriptions to Will. And then Will has to try to match the plot description with the correct title. Whew. All right, we got through there.
Yeah.
All right.
Good job. Proud of you. It's the first time you did that. So it's been,
Yeah.
It was a struggle.
Yeah.
You did good, though.
You just drink check. This episode's drink check this week.
It's a new segment.
Yeah, we're gonna kick off with
Drink
the new
check.
fan favorite segment, drink check.
Drink check.
You topped off your vodka and something.
No, I topped off my red wine, my Moscato, with the last glass of it, and I'm sad. And then I got me a very flavorful LaCroix Pure.
Oh, well, I'm about to crack one of those open myself by complete
We're
coincidence
living on
here
the
in
edge
just a
here.
moment.
We were wild boys,
Yeah.
partying it down,
Slamming LaCroix.
slamming pure LaCroix at that.
Not a sponsor, so
Guess
maybe I need
guess
to
our heritage.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna. I thought about doing another vodka lemonade, but I decided just to finish off the bottle of Moscato.
You should have just slammed it straight out of the bottle instead of using a glass.
I really should, because actually, I poured one. I poured once, and started to put started to put it back in the refrigerator, and I was like, wait, how much is actually in here? So I had to hold it up to the light just to kind of see through the bottle, and it was maybe a tablespoonful. I was like, oh shit! I would just finish it off. So yeah, I probably just could have just brought the whole bottle back easily.
Yeah, it would have been pretty rock and roll.
Yeah, punk all the way.
Sitting in your office by yourself, slamming wine.
Yeah,
out of a bottle
at 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah, that's normal, I think.
All right. I am ready to redeem myself from last week's giant goose egg.
Pitiful performance.
It was pretty bad. But I was definitely rusty. You were rusty. We were rusty. All the machines and cogs were rusty. It had been several weeks since we last recorded last episode, and several life-changing events. You have a new job. I don't have my job anymore. I will be having a new job. I am one family member less now. You are a family member the same.
That's technically, yes.
I mean, things changed.
Yeah.
So last week we were a little rusty. And then you fucking talked about French New Wave again. So that always sends Will down a death spiral of PTSD of college years.
I didn't talk about it very much.
No, I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying you brought it up.
Even though I'm the one who specifically picked those movies,
you were
knowing that you don't like those kinds of movies.
No, I mean, it's not that. It's just that it definitely triggers me. It sends me back to a time whenever I was very broke as a college kid, having to travel a long distance to get into San Francisco very early in the morning, by myself on a train and via walking, only to go into an old abandoned church. Not even old, just a formerly used church that's now a film school cinema history class, and try to stay awake for 3 hours in these pews as we discuss French New Wave for 4 weeks. And yeah, not only do I not like that era of filmmaking already, but I always get flashbacks right to there and just hating life. So I can't really blame you for that part of it. So last week was maybe a rough comeback, but I think I don't want to call a hat trick this episode. I don't think I'm that. I think I'm still rusty, but I do feel better. Even though this is just moments after we recorded the last episode, I still feel better. I feel better.
Well, speaking of being a broke college student, I did want to make a quick sidebar to your sidebar and mention that once years ago we conceived, well, perhaps not an idea, but more of a phrase called fast food math for those who are broke college students.
That wasn't my that wasn't my conception. I took that from I think a short story or a book that I read.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those were 2 words that we pulled out of a hat, and then we made up that whole thing. And you're like, fast food math is where you have to like do. I have $2 and I can get like a
we did do that.
hamburger from McDonald's.
Holy shit, we did do that. No, yeah. Okay, I take back that entire statement that I just said.
Did they copy us for a book? Did they write a book about that day that we pulled those words out of a hat?
I'll say yes, because I can't remember the book I'm talking about now.
Dean Koontz?
No, sorry. There was a sidebar to your sidebar to my sidebar. There was a book that I had to read at some point in time that I'm pretty sure was called Fast Food Something. And it was about being a college kid, I think. I could be totally wrong now. But anyway, you are correct in just saying that we did pull those 2 words out of a hat and link them together to form a title that then I did say what you just said that I said. You are correct. I'm sorry I stopped what you were saying to say what I said.
Good. I'm redeemed, because the whole time I was like leading up to that, you were looking at me like, what the fuck are you on about?
Well, that stands true. I mean,
yeah. All right. And we're going to seamlessly segue straight into our...
Wait. Why did you bring that up?
I just thought of it because you mentioned being like a broke college student in film school or something.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, broke college student, fast food math. I don't know why that's where my brain went, but that is where it went. And you ruined my awesome segue into our main segment, which is Will tries to guess what title goes with which synopsis. And so first I'm going to read you these synopses, and then you're going to get the titles, and then we'll see how good you are at pairing them up. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Alrighty. Let's see if you can put yourself in the headspace. We're going to start you off way back in 2004.
Oh, okay.
You remember 2004?
Nope.
Alrighty. Well, this will be interesting.
Yep.
Your synopsis for this
film
film
is it the first YouTube video?
No, I don't think that was until 2005.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Your first synopsis is going to be from IMDb as follows. A transient young man breaks into empty homes to partake of the vacationing residents' lives for a few days.
Ooh. 2004, a transient young man breaks into vacationing people's homes to partake in their lives for a few days.
Yes.
You
did that for a summer, remember?
Yeah, I wish. I actually did that as a kid, but they weren't vacationing. They just didn't live there anymore. We turned the house into a clubhouse. Anyway, statute of limitations is up on that, I'm pretty sure. But, okay, 2004, you said a transient kid?
A transient young man
breaks into
empty homes.
Yeah, empty homes of vacationers.
To partake of the vacationing residents' lives for a few days.
For a few days, okay. I'm not. that doesn't ring bells, or feel or sound familiar. Next,
I bet not. Your next one is going to be from way on back, 2023.
I remember less about that year than I do 2004.
That might be a good thing.
2023?
Yes.
Okay, so this could have just happened.
Yes. Your synopsis for this one reads as follows. A man finds himself trapped in a desert canyon with a woman living off-grid who is captive to a pack of sadistic boys.
Jeez, okay. A man finds himself trapped in a canyon?
Trapped in a desert canyon, yes.
And then there's a woman involved? Say this again.
Yes. A man finds himself trapped in a desert canyon with a woman living off-grid who is captive to a pack of sadistic boys.
So the man is trapped with the woman in a canyon, and the woman lives off-grid.
Yeah.
And she is held captive by...
Yes.
By what boys? By
A pack of
boys?
sadistic boys.
Sadistic boys. Okay.
Remember
There's a
this
lot
one?
there.
2023?
Yeah, no, I don't. That's okay. All right. I missed this one. I don't think I remember seeing like anyone post any, poster art or anything like that on Twitter about a guy and a girl and a pack of sadistic young boys in a desert. But I don't know. There's a lot happened in 2023, so who knows?
Yeah.
All right. Third.
All right. Your final one is going to come from way on back in 2009.
Okay. That I remember that year I graduated
Remember that
high
year
school
a little better?
A little better.
Let's see if you remember this one by its synopsis. Read directly from IMDb, the synopsis reads as follows. A physical comedy about yearning.
About yearning?
Yes.
Okay. A physical comedy about yearning. That tells me nothing. 2009.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think where I was at, like, film-wise in 2009. I've clearly loved movies all my life. I don't know if that's clear or not, based on the whole premise of this show. But I have loved movies for a long time. But in 2009, I wasn't as deep in cinema as it is as I am now. I mean, I was very much in 2009. I was really into like theatrical arts and making props. So this might actually be kind of tough, even though I do have a lot of memories from that year. I don't know if I watched. I don't even know if I could tell you what big movies came out in 2009. Let alone a physical comedy about yearning.
That was a big movie. You remember it?
Clearly,
Everyone was talking about it. Did you see the part where he tripped?
The pratfalls of life. Okay, let me try to recall these now.
All right.
The first one was 2004.
Yes.
And it was about something.
That is correct.
It was about not. What was this one about? It was not the guy and the girl in the canyon.
No, this one is a transient young man.
That's the vacate. Yeah, okay. So transient young man breaks into homes of vacationers to live their lives for a few days.
Yes.
Okay. Transient young man. So this is what he does all the time. There has to be an off season to vacationing, right? Like there has to be a time whenever very few people are vacationing. So what does he do then? Interesting. Okay, 2004, transient young man breaks into homes of people who are vacationing to live their lives for a few days. Okay, the next one was 2023.
Yes.
And it was about a man being stuck with a woman in a desert canyon, and the woman is being held captive by a pack of sadistic boys.
Correct.
And the whole thing seems really strange. 2023. I mean, this has to be really small budget stuff. But the fact that they're trapped in a canyon, and the woman has already been, in her own way, trapped by a pack of sadistic boys, which makes it seem like children. sadistic children in the desert have held a woman captive until somehow she was able to get out, but then also get stuck into a canyon with a guy. So this one, I feel bad for this lady. This lady just can't get a break. So the question becomes like, does she want to get out of the canyon, or does she feel better in the canyon because she's away from the pack of sadistic boys? And he wants to be rescued, but he knows nothing about the pack of sadistic boys. And she knows that if they do get out of the canyon, back to the pack she goes. Possibly. Okay. And then the last film was 2009, and it was a physical comedy about yearning. That's all you told me.
Yes.
Okay.
That's all IMDb told you.
Physical comedy about yearning. And I know I don't usually ask these, and it doesn't really matter. But these are all feature films?
That is correct.
Okay. I mean, I could see maybe like a physical comedy about yearning being a short film, maybe, but I don't. A feature film in 2009. Okay.
Yes.
I guess all I can do is move on to the titles, and hopefully that one or more of these does something for me.
I will say that your physical comedy about yearning.
Mine, yeah.
It is a feature film, yes. However, it is only 75 minutes.
Okay,
so it is a short feature.
This is a feature. This is a feature link for a film festival, is what this is.
Yes.
Okay, that helps. That eases my mind a little bit. Yeah.
Alrighty, and your first title is going to be 3 Iron.
3 Iron.
Yes.
3 Iron. I mean, I have absolutely nothing for physical comedy about yearning. 3 Iron. I mean, I guess there's some yucks to be happened with the 3 Iron to the head, a la Three Stooges. Maybe.
What are they yearning for?
I don't know. Fame. But I don't. So that isn't. I don't know anything about that fitting with yearning or physical comedy. But then again, I don't know if it fits with the man and woman trapped in the desert canyon thing, or with the pack of sadistic boys. Which every time I say that phrase, it just sounds worse. So does that leave 3 Iron? Does that leave 3 Iron for the transient young man? I mean, maybe he breaks into the homes with the 3 Iron. Maybe he like smashes some windows or something. I don't know. Or maybe he like finds he's also pretending to be these people. So maybe someone, like, they're rich probably because they vacation. So maybe someone has like a set of golf clubs. Okay. Yeah, I've got nothing with 3 Iron so far. So give me the next 2. I'll try to plug that one in later.
Your next title is going to be The Seating.
The Seating.
Yes.
God, that sounds so gross. I instantly thought it went with the pack of sadistic boys. The Seating. Ugh. Okay, The Seating. Yeah, I don't have anything yet for this either. The Seating, though. Gosh, what does that even mean? I mean, that doesn't feel like transient young boy breaking into vacation homes. And again, nothing feels like physical comedy about yearning. So I'm kind of just naturally leaning towards pack of sadistic boys. The Seating. Oh God, that's just so gross. I don't even know why I'm grossed out about that. Everything sounds wrong about the whole thing. Trapped in a canyon. A man trapped in a canyon with a woman who is being held captive by a pack of sadistic boys. That's so weird. The Seating. The Seating. This fall. The Seating.
On CBS.
They tried to grow produce. Something. Nourishment in the desert, and all that could grow was evil. Okay. Third title.
Your third title is going to be Harmony and Me.
Okay. Harmony and Me. Harmony and Me. This kind of feels like it would go with a physical comedy about yearning. Harmony and Me. Because I feel like there's probably a singular character to this physical comedy about yearning. There's some maybe irony in the sense of calling it harmony, or harmony being involved in a comedy or in a movie that involves physical comedy. I'm sure there's some ouches and some oops and some, that kind of stuff going on. Yeah, right. Something like that. Harmony and Me. Harmony and Me. That sounds a little familiar, though. Harmony and Me. Harmony and Me. Oh, why does that sound familiar? Okay, so I've got Harmony and Me. I have The Seating. And I have... What was the first title?
3 Iron.
3 Iron. That's right, 3 Iron. Okay. I mean, these synopses really don't elicit too much for these titles. There's nothing I can really pull from to figure out why Harmony and Me... The Seating. God, that sounds so weird for some reason. I don't know why. The Seating. 3 Iron. The only one that sounds film festival-ish is the one with the film festival-like runtime. So maybe that did help me more than I think it did. Which is the physical comedy about yearning. And also that synopsis is just so film festival-y. And that was also 2023. Correct?
Which physical comedy about yearning?
Yes.
2009.
Oh, 2009. Okay. Oops. So that negates that thinking. I was thinking that maybe that was why I didn't hear about it. Was because it was a smaller film. But I mean, 2009, I still don't know what movies came out then.
District 9.
Oh gosh, that's right. District 9. So that's
Glorious Bastards.
Well, that I don't remember. But I've seen that movie, but I didn't have as much hype for that as I did District 9. Yeah, how did I forget about District 9? Yeah, because my podcast back in the day, back in old 2007 to 2009, one of our last episodes was covering the release of District 9. Yeah. I was so excited about that movie. I forgot all about that. Okay, so 3 Iron.
Another movie that I can never use on this show because it's one of the few the title and the synopsis.
Yeah. 3 Iron, Seating, The Seating,
Yes.
and Harmony and Me. Okay,
Yes.
Here we go. So I think I'm just going to lay them out like that. That's what feels the best. I don't have any really deep connections for this. As far as why this one is these titles are sort of vaguish. I mean, these are 2000s films, so that could be why too. But I really feel like the 3 Iron connection, the transient kid finds a 3 Iron, or he there's some kind of connection with one of these houses having golf clubs in them. That's the only thing I can link there. Assuming that 3 Iron even is referencing a golf club. It maybe not be, but I don't know what else it would be talking about there. So I'm going to have to say that was it 2004 film about the transient teen who breaks into homes of vacationers and lives out their lives for a few days is called 3 Iron. And then I will say that the 2003 movie about a man trapped in a desert canyon with a woman 2023, sorry. 2023 movie about a man trapped in a desert canyon with a woman who is held captive by a pack of sadistic boys.
Yes. Yep.
Only because that synopsis sounds so weird and the sadistic boys part sounds so icky, and the seating also just gives me that same feeling of just like, oh God, there's something's wrong about this movie. I'm going to have to call that one the seating. And that's my only connection to that is that all of that just gives me the same vibe. It just all gives me the same vibe of just, oh God, what's happening? A lot of bad is happening. And then, yeah, that means that the 2009 film, which is a physical comedy about yearning, and that's all we get, has a runtime of 76 minutes, apparently, is called Harmony and Me. Did I get any of those right? And I hope I either got 0 correct or I got all of them correct, because I don't know which ones to change.
Well, you did get something correct, and it is all 3 of them.
Oh, thank goodness. Jeez. Okay, because I was like, if those aren't correct, I have no idea. It's just going to be a toss-up to change all of them. All right.
Yes, so the 2004 movie,
The Transient Teen.
3 Iron, Young Man.
Young Man. Oh, sorry. My bad. He's grown.
Is a Korean film from a filmmaker I had not previously been aware of. His name is, probably not going to say correctly, but it's Kim Ki-duk, who passed away a couple years ago, actually, due to COVID-19.
It's unfortunate.
This movie is streaming at the time of recording on Tubi, and it is available on Blu-ray from our good friends at Sloppy Second Sales.
SloppySecondSales.com.
And that is how I found out about it, actually. I saw it on there once, and I was like, I'd never heard of this, and I looked it up, and it seems very few people had ever heard of this.
Has this director done anything else of note?
I actually looked that up, and I should have made note of it because I thought so, but I could be mistaken. Let me get that pulled back up. In the meantime, I can say that the writer-director wrote the script in a month. Shooting took 16 days, and it was edited in just 10 days.
Jeez.
Which is pretty impressive.
2 months start to finish. That's crazy, yeah.
Yes, so this is a movie that I have not seen. This is another one that this guy made. I have never seen this, but it's a movie that I've known of for a long time. In 2003, he made the film Spring, Summer, Fall, Winter, and Spring.
I've heard of this. I definitely think you've told me about this movie.
Yes, it's one that I've wanted to watch for a long time. Still haven't. Looks like it's also on Tubi, though, so maybe I need to watch that sometime. But anyway, so this 3 Iron, apparently, according to IMDb, it said that the crew members who worked on the movie actually gave up their paychecks to help get the movie made.
Jeez.
And then it said that they did eventually get their money back whenever the movie ended up making profit.
What's the runtime?
The runtime for the movie is listed as 1 hour, 28 minutes.
That's impressive. A 90-minute movie done in 2 months, and it did make money back.
Yeah, at least enough to where the crew was able to
pay the crew. That's good.
Get their money back at least.
Right?
Oh yeah. It says even just in the U.S. and Canada, it made $241,000. According to IMDb, which who knows, has an estimated budget of $1 million.
Okay.
Worldwide gross $3.4 million.
All right, so they didn't do too bad. I mean, that's not gangbusters, but
yeah,
that's a good profit.
The last thing on this movie, IMDb does say that the protagonists, there's apparently 2 of them. There's a guy and a girl, I think. And evidently they don't really say anything the entire movie until the last scene.
This is explaining why it only took a month to write and 16 days to shoot.
I will say, however, contrary to, I don't know if other characters speak, because there is quite a cast associated with this movie.
Oh wow! You
many
scrolled for
cast
a while
members. I don't know why or how, but anyway, it sounds interesting. I might I'd like to check that out at some point. It also has really good reviews, which makes it also kind of intriguing. So moving on to 2023, just a short time ago, The Seeding came out.
Sounds so weird.
From a filmmaker named Barnaby Clay.
Barnaby.
Director's name, yes. This movie is currently able to be rented on Amazon for $4 right now, and I would like to watch it. I think it sounds kind of interesting, in some weird ways, I suppose.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, I'm definitely intrigued. I feel icky about it already. I don't know what's going on. What's the genres of this film?
Yes, IMDb has it listed as folk horror.
Okay, there we go.
Horror thriller.
Okay, so maybe it's like a sort of like a The Hills Have Eyes type meets 127 Hours. You know, it's like that's what it feels like. It feels like, you know, a bad situation made worse by bad things.
Yeah, I haven't watched a trailer or anything like that, so I don't really know. I don't really have a good idea of what the vibe is for the movie. I did see just now on IMDb though, because like whenever you go to the page on IMDb, like the trailer just automatically starts playing on the top nowadays, I guess. It is a magnet releasing, which is kind of cool. And XYZ Films, so 2 independent labels that I do enjoy for the most part. And I will say that the reason I became aware of this movie is because it stars as our woman trapped in the desert, held captive
by citizen boys.
It stars Kate Lynn Sheil, and I think she is wonderful, and I love her. And
what else has she been in?
You specifically would probably not remember her, but you would be aware of her from, she is the opening scene of You're Next. She's the woman that's getting banged by Larry Fessenden in the opening of the movie.
I do remember that. With that awesome song. Yes.
And she doesn't have any lines in that movie, but she is fantastic.
Doesn't need them.
She did a whole bunch of movies with those guys. She's in Joe Swanberg movies. I think she was in Amy Simons, also from Your Next, directed a movie a couple years ago called She Dies Tomorrow.
Okay.
And Caitlin Sheil is like the lead in that movie, and she's so good. But anyway, that's how I found out about this, because she's in it.
And you said this was on Tubi or Amazon? This is Amazon for $4.
You can rent it, yes, on Amazon for $4. Not actively streaming, quote unquote, for free. Apparently, according to the IMDb trivia, this movie borrows heavily from the Japanese film Woman in the Dunes, which I only know of by title. I never knew anything about what it's about.
Never heard of it.
It's a Criterion Collection movie. It's this old Japanese movie from the 50s or 60s. I've never seen it.
Well, even more interesting. Woman in the Dunes. That's
yes.
Okay.
And then lastly, from 2009, Harmony and Me.
This sounds so familiar.
I sadly do not have any information. IMDb did not have any trivia on this movie listed at all. It is not streaming actively on anything.
Does it exist?
It is available to rent on Amazon for $3. And it's a movie that I've had in my watch list. So this movie, I only remembered that this movie exists because I stumbled upon it somehow a long time ago. One of the first images in my photo gallery on my current cell phone is a screenshot from IMDb of this movie's IMDb page, because at some point I found it and I screenshot it so I wouldn't forget it, because I wanted to watch it, and then I forgot about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you tried.
Yeah, so now I have cemented it
Who's
forever
in this? Is there anyone?
Podcast.
I mean, is there anyone at all in this that would be of note? Who directed it? Who?
Yes, kind of. I don't. So the director, I don't know. I also don't really know anything else that he did. But his name is Bob Byington.
Okay.
Byington.
Sure, Byington.
I don't know. It seems like he's like a indie festival kind of filmmaker based on his IMDb page. The most noteworthy, a couple of people noteworthy in the cast, I would say. So there is this dude named Kevin Corrigan, whom I know mainly whenever I see his face, I think of him from Superbad.
Okay.
He's this dude who's like fucked up at the party that they go to, and he like headbutts a dude in the chest. He's also in True Romance. He's also in The Departed. He's also in Pineapple Express. He is also in the Tony Scott film Unstoppable. He's in a whole bunch of stuff.
That's the
all
train
over
one?
the place. He's evidently in everything that you could possibly think of. And yes, the train one.
I like that movie. I don't remember that kid though.
He's also, I will throw a quick shout out. He is evidently, I didn't even know it, but he is in the new Larry Fessenden werewolf movie that just came out, Blackout, also starring Barbara Crampton. So yeah, this guy is in like everything that you can possibly think of, as is the other co-star of the movie, Pat Healy, whom is in like fucking everything. He's in Cheap Thrills, great movie. He's in Ty West's The Innkeepers. He is briefly in Paul Thomas Anderson's Magnolia. Yeah, interesting cast.
That is, yeah. I mean, for a what clearly seems like a festival film,
Yes.
if the director is mostly known for doing festival films, plus the runtime is very festival-like.
Yeah.
Um,
Grossed $20,000.
I mean, I'm really curious what this movie's even about, other than being about.
What do you mean? You know exactly what it's about.
Everything's right there. Yeah,
There is another synopsis with more detail written by Filmbox Arthouse.
Oh,
would you like me to dive in?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think just to sell this movie, as far as to pay the, because you said it was on Amazon.
To rent, yes.
To rent, yeah.
Yes.
Just to kind of sell it a little bit more, I think it's worthy of having the second synopsis read.
Yeah.
Now, it might not be accurate because this is just user submitted, but maybe it'll give you something.
Written by Filmbox Arthouse. The other more detailed synopsis reads as follows. Stubbornly embracing his own unhappiness on the heels of a recent breakup, very festively, loquacious young songwriter Harmony's self-imposed exile into misery serves as a source of irritation to his headstrong mother and a curious source of amusement to his eccentric friends.
Okay.
So it's like a dude who like is out of a breakup and his friends are all like, man, you're kind of annoying now. And his family's like, you're kind of annoying.
A sad, angsty guy with a guitar is what it sounds like. Okay. Yeah. Well, I wonder what festivals those played at.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, maybe it's worth, at least based on the cast, it sounds interesting, right?
Yeah. And it's only going to cost you 75 minutes of time.
Yeah. Which really isn't bad.
No.
Yeah. Because it's one of those things that was in 75 minutes you'll find out pretty quickly if you're into it or not. you won't have to go through like 20-30 minutes of maybe.
Yeah.
Because that's already half the film. So yeah. Okay. Maybe doable.
Yeah.
Sad boy gets broken up with and plays guitar. Okay.
Yeah, probably so.
It's not. I have to rank these now.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, what are you feeling?
Oh gosh, I mean, man. So
you have I will tell you up front that you have a somewhat broad range.
That's what I was feeling.
It's not crazy broad, but it is. There's some space between the highest and the lowest.
Yeah, I feel like this is like a couple point spread at least.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple and a half. I feel I can't even remember what the first film was now. Hold on. It was about the first one was the 2004 film.
Yes.
That was about the transient young man who broke into. Okay, and then you have the film about the sadistic boys.
Yes.
God, and then you have the physical comedy about a guy who broke up with his girlfriend and plays guitar. Yes. What is going on here?
Yeah, okay. IMDb also only lists it as comedy.
As comedy. Well, I mean, comedy I think is broader than what people think. There's comedy in a lot of bad things. Okay, or sad things. Let's see here. But physical comedy is what really
Nick
makes
Offerman's in it.
Curious. Oh, there you go. Okay. So I think just for my sake, the range is going to be the first one's Korean. Okay. What's throwing me is that the second film from 2023 seems weird. Now you're showing me a still of Harmony and Me, and God, does that look exactly like I thought? It's a guy on a couch with a guitar who looks sad as hell, and yeah, that's exactly what I was picturing. Okay, so back to what I was saying.
Sorry,
the 2023 film. Sorry, and I had my eyes closed before I even realized you were showing me that. It's throwing me because it seems weird and it seems crazy and like just kind of thrown together sort of lower tier horror, right? But then you said that it's based off of a Criterion film from Japan from the 50s. Maybe loosely based, but still.
Yeah, 1964.
Oh, 64, sorry. So that tells me that maybe there's some... Maybe it could be a really bad.
Huh?
What's that?
I was just gonna really quickly, if you don't mind, I was gonna read the synopsis for "Woman in the Dunes," the Japanese film.
Let me do ranking first because I don't want that to influence me, other than what I'm already thinking. So I don't know where the transient young man fits, but anyway. So here's the spread. I haven't done this yet. Here's the spread. I feel like the spread is a couple points, maybe a couple and a half, from top to bottom, and I want to say it feels like the lowest one. Sorry, physical comedy guy, but it feels like the lowest one's going to be maybe low 5 to mid 5. Oh no, not even that. Maybe 4. Maybe like high 4, and then the top one will be high 6. So maybe that's just a 2-point spread. So I want to say so from high 4 to high 6. Number 1 will be The Seeding, the 2023 film. Number 2, close by that one, will be the 2004 Korean film 3 Iron. And then the bottom of this will be the 2009 film Harmony and Me.
Okay.
And I also feel like all of these probably don't have very many views or very many ratings.
Okay, yeah, that's accurate. However, your order of them is all messed up.
Oh, always.
So your lowest rated one with 5.0,
way higher than I said. Yeah, okay.
at the time of recording, is The Seeding.
Really?
Yes.
So they must have done a really bad job at that.
Your middle one with a 6.2 is going to be Harmony and Me.
That's way higher than what the image that you just showed me is way higher. Wow. 6.2.
It honestly doesn't even have bad reviews. Like
Yeah, but how many? Like what, 50? Like 47 people watch this thing?
Well, even like the Metascore for it is positive.
Yeah, but it's all gonna be like third tier film
like
festival critics.
Yeah.
They just want their name out there.
Yeah. 6.2 is based on 467 IMDb.
Okay, that's
ratings.
more than I gave it credit for.
That's really.
I mean,
really
okay. Also, keep in mind too, it was 2009,
yes.
and the image that you showed me, I mean, HD wasn't super readily available then, especially for the festival, level of filmmaker. So there is that. It definitely is an indie film, and from the looks of it, at least in that, it almost looks like it's kind of maybe sort of documentary. Or at least maybe shot that way. Maybe it's not structured that way, and maybe it is actually a narrative. But it just looked like it was, handheld filming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay,
I love that they have that picture of
6.2.
sad guy on the couch holding a guitar.
Yeah, exactly what I thought. So what's the top one?
Your top one, yes, is 3 Iron, and it has a 7.9.
Wow, way higher than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'd like to see that at some point. I want to see all 3 of these, honestly, at some point.
I do too. Like I said, the seating, it gives me the heebies, but it also, I like a film that can give me some kind of reaction. So that was definitely on my list. I don't know if Harmony of Me is on my list, other than just pure curiosity of what it's about, and also the fact that it's short. So I won't feel like I've lost too much there if it's not good. I'm just curious, like how they're going to work physical comedy in with yearning about a guy being sad that he got broken up with, and then the 3 Iron thing. I mean, Korean films are always good. So
yeah, I'm on Harmony and Me. I'm also just personally one of these people that's pretty into the micro budget. I'm into like the the mumblecore era and stuff like that. I find those movies fascinating, and a lot of people hate and can't stand those, and I understand that. But there's something really inspiring about those movies that are just like
they got made.
They look like garbage, and they look like anybody just set up whatever camera they had and they made an entire movie out of it. And
room light
looks bad, but they get these naturalistic performances and stuff like that. I don't know. I find those fascinating.
Yeah, I mean they are. So mumblecore, for those unfamiliar, this is my perspective of it as an outsider who's not into it as much as Thomas, is that the craft of it in regards to cinematography, sometimes even the storytelling, if not always, from my perspective, the storytelling, editing, pacing, all the things that make a movie are not always great. But what is usually great, or at least really good, is usually the acting. Like the characters are like usually pretty dang good as far as how they're developed, or how they're at least portrayed by the actors, for something that seemingly wouldn't have that level of acting in it. Because like you said, it's that a lot of them just look like they just turned the camera on, and like, the room light, wherever it happened to be, was the lighting for the scene. So you would think that like the acting would be very much on that same level, and a lot of times, at least from the ones I've seen that you've shown me, the acting is actually pretty good.
Yeah, for anyone who is unfamiliar with mumblecore, however people want to define it, I do highly recommend the Duplass brothers film, The Puffy Chair, which is credited kind of as being like the first mumblecore movie kind of situation. It like made a big splash in Sundance whenever it came out in 2004, I want to say. And their subsequent movie Baghead, I personally love so much. And then to all those who nowadays everyone knows and loves Greta Gerwig, and she got her start in the mumblecore scene as an actress. Very good. She was always great, and it's really cool to see her now as this prolific director getting Academy Awards, and you're like, oh man, you were like annoying drunk chick and fucking Baghead and shit like that. Yeah, it's great stuff. Anyway, I didn't mean to get on that side tangent, but Harmony and Me just looks like that kind of a movie to me, I think. So I'm intrigued. So we're gonna smoothly switch right along to quote time. And I do have a quote for you this week.
Ooh, okay.
And I have been excited to read it to you.
Okay. In a character of your choosing.
Yes.
And so, have you seen any of these?
I have not seen any of these.
So you have no idea what the context of this quote is, other than what IMDb maybe gave you.
Yes. So this is for any of our first-time listeners. I selected a quote from IMDb from one of these movies, and basically I just read the quote from IMDb to Will, and then Will tries to guess which movie the quote came from. And your quote for this week, Will,
Okay.
reads as follows, and I quote, "Breakfast is ready."
Fuck you. Okay, breakfast is ready. Okay, breakfast is ready. Is the what's the punctuation as written?
Period.
That's it. Okay,
Yes.
so you okay. So breakfast is ready. Breakfast
That
is
is
ready.
the whole thing, and also, just to be clear, on the IMDb for this movie, this is the only quote. I did not pull this quote out of like a larger dialogue. Somebody went on there to the quote section and just typed this quote in. They didn't attribute it to a character.
I mean, I feel like this breakfast is ready. I mean, I don't know if this is the Korean. I don't think this is the Korean film. I don't think this is. You're not going to say this in the desert with the pack of sadistic boys. I really think that this absolutely screams with the period punctuation. Assuming that that's correctly typed, that this has to be Harmony and Me.
What if it was an exclamation point punctuation?
Then it was the guy's mother from Harmony and Me.
Well, we can rip the Band-Aid right off and say that you are wrong.
Oh, really?
It is from 3 Iron.
Wow. Okay.
And I was wrong. They do credit a character, Sun Hua. Says, breakfast is ready. 1 of 2 found that interesting on the IMDb page associated with it.
Were you one of them?
No. I
Breakfast is
am, but I
ready.
didn't give it a thumbs up.
Okay, so who is he? Is that the guy? Is that the transient young man?
I just closed the page. Shit. It is a woman character. The actress, it's a woman.
Okay. Well, we'll have to go watch 3 Iron to figure out why that exists.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely wasn't feeling that clearly because I was so confident to say it wasn't that, but now I am kind of intrigued as to the context of that of Breakfast is Ready.
I'm also intrigued at your assumption, probably correctly, that sad man with guitar lives with his mom.
Oh no! Well, that's where I'm going to go with this. So Thomas, this is bad for podcast, but Thomas showed me just a few minutes ago a photo, a still from Harmony and Me. And can you bring that up again so I can kind of do like a description of this?
This is what
photo.
we've been commenting on for the last
5 or 6 minutes here, at least almost 10.
Yeah.
But this is where I want to take the end of this episode. Is I want to figure out this scene based solely on the one still image from Harmony and Me. So the image is as follows. So there is a bearded man who looks to be possibly 30 or in his late 20s, early 30s maybe, and he is sat on a red, very plush couch in what looks like a basement just from I'm just going off of, I mean, it's not like it's a finished basement. It's a nice basement, but there's definitely like a DVD or CD rack beside him, and there's maybe some artwork behind the couch of I can't tell quite what it is.
I don't know.
It looks like a man cave is what I'm trying to kind of picture it at, like a bachelor pad is what it looks like, and the man is, like I said, late 20s, early 30s, bearded, or goatee, we'll say, handlebar mustache even, and he is on this couch, and he has a guitar, and he's got his hand up to strum the guitar, and his hands on the frets, probably to play that first chord of this sad song that he's going to do, and he's looking off in the distance. Past the camera, so it's very yearning is what we've painted here. So I want to know what it is. And this guy looks familiar. Who is this again? The actor?
Yes, his name is Kevin Corrigan.
And you said that this is the guy who's in.
What I first think of is he's in Superbad, and whenever Jonah Hill and Michael Cera go to that party and they're getting booze and whatever,
yeah,
there's a part where Jonah Hill has this chick grind up against him and she gets her period blood on his pants.
Okay.
And later on at the party, like in a later scene, this dude is like freaks out on him because I guess that was like his girlfriend or some shit, and he's like start trying to pick a fight with Jonah Hill, and in doing so he like accidentally hits somebody else, and then this like fight breaks out, but his first go-to attack for this guy who comes up to him is to headbutt him in the chest. And for some reason I always found that really funny that his first move is to headbutt a guy in the chest.
Yeah.
So but he looks exactly like that in Superbad. He looks the exact same.
I mean, he also looks the same. Cause I'm very familiar with Unstoppable, and I'm pretty sure now I recognize. I think he's like one of the people who like works for the railroad office or something, like the headquarters. I think he's in those scenes if I remember right. But anyway, in this movie, he definitely looks like he's yearning and sad. So. And you said it was after a breakup?
Yes.
Okay.
That's him here in Superbad.
Oh, this is the headbutt. Oh, yeah, he's younger. Trulio. He's younger and
just by like 2 years.
No facial hair, but he looks younger because of no facial hair. Yeah,
hair's the exact same though.
Oh yeah, the sideburns and everything. But the facial hair makes him look a little bit older here. Okay, so I want to paint the picture of his breakup.
Okay, like how the breakup happened and like who he was dating or whatever?
Who he was dating, what happened to cause the breakup, if this isn't how the movie opens, this would be a written backstory for the writers. So what is the breakup? This guy is an instrumentalist, maybe a singer. He has some talent. He clearly...
does he have some talent?
Well,
or does he think he has some talent?
Okay. Well, maybe that's what it is. So maybe that's what leads to this breakup. So what is it?
Yes.
That causes the breakup for in Harmony and Me? And you said his character's name is Harmony?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Harmony and Me. So who's the me?
You know what? So he is not Harmony. I apologize. There's an actor named Justin Rice who plays Harmony. This guy we're talking about, Kevin, plays Carlos.
Is Carlos the main guy?
He's the second build, which I know doesn't mean anything. But if it's Harmony and Me, then I think that might imply that.
Maybe he's the me.
Maybe his friend. So based on the art house, whatever, that wrote that more detailed synopsis. Maybe Harmony, out of all of like his friends and family who are like fed up with his depressed shit, maybe Harmony's the only guy who's like the real buddy who's there for him whenever nobody else is, and it's Harmony and Me.
Harmony and Me, okay.
But the breakup, so his he writes his girlfriend like a birthday song. And he's playing it. And she's like...
Wait. How long have they been dating?
8 months.
Oh, so not even a year.
Yes.
Okay.
But he writes her a song, and he is like... He's done a verse, he's done like a little chorus, and then he's in the midst of the second verse, and she like starts laughing while he's playing it, and he stops playing, and he's like pissed off, and he's like, why are you laughing? And she's just like, oh, I'm sorry, keep going. And he's like, no, why? There's nothing funny about this song. Why are you laughing?
It's emotional.
She has to.
It's for your birthday.
She has to, like, do the painful, awkward confession that like it's not good because she knows that he's like so into this music thing, and he thinks he's really good or whatever. And they have this big fight, and that's the opening scene, and then they break up. Okay,
so let's flesh this out, because we can't forget the key to this whole movie is physical comedy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so they have this big fight and they break up, and she grabs the guitar and like smashes it over his head, the head comes out of the guitar.
You're going real far with it, which is fine.
Yes.
But let's backtrack a little bit. So what I was picturing when you're first describing this scene, he's sitting there, he's strumming it, he's really he's off key. He's wrong pitch, not even getting his chords right on his fret or whatever. He's kind of slipping. her name's Shelby or something like that. So you can like
Shelby, what do you say?
so he can like barely rhyme it with anything, you know. But what I was thinking is that she interrupts him with this, you know, with her laugh, and then she says, you know, no, go ahead, it's okay, you know. So when he starts again, is what I was picturing was that like almost the first strum, like a string breaks.
Yeah.
You know? So now he like he has to like face the fact
And that makes her like break again, and she
of
starts
course.
laughing even harder.
Everyone. And I don't. And do you picture it's just them two in the room, or is this like
Yes,
a
them two in the
communal
room.
setting? Okay,
I
so it's
picture
more of
just
an
them two in
intimate.
the room. Yeah.
Okay, so more of an intimate setting, and yeah, she definitely laughs again. But I think you said his name is Carlos. Carlos. Do you think Carlos is stubborn enough to just continue to try to play the song now missing a string, which makes him sound even worse?
I think he
or does he stop
for a couple of seconds until she like erupts with even harder laughter, and then he stops because he gets pissed off.
Fine. Okay. So okay, I like that. So now how do we get from that to a very physical breakup?
With her smashing it over his head, and his head coming through the fucking body.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah.
Like she lets go, and his head is so stupid, like a cartoon. It's like a Looney Tunes image. So it obviously starts out with him being upset about the song, and then maybe he like starts letting out like other stuff that he's been holding back for these past 8 months or some shit like that, where he's
on her birthday. Okay.
He's like accusing her of like, because it's just like a fight and they're like emotions are coming out, you know, and he starts just saying shit.
And also he's maybe not like the best at this stuff. Yeah.
He's better at putting it into song in his so he, but what does he say to make her go that far?
Well, yes, that's where I'm trying to bridge. Which I'm not saying that your ending is not worthy. I think I want to get there, but because what I'm afraid of is that we've gone too far. We've gone too emotional for Carlos to then. From what the picture you just showed me, at least, I feel like if he was told he sucked by the person who thought he loved him, he would instantly sulk and just leave the room. But I do like the part of you like saying that he's bottled up a lot of stuff. So we also got to paint. We also have to paint Shelby, as we've given her this name. We've also had to paint her as, I think, a bad person, don't we? Because we want the audience to kind of follow Carlos on this vent.
Yeah.
So then everything that so she's laughing. I mean, it's kind of difficult with it just being them two, because I'm thinking if this was more like a party setting, right? Or like this is her birthday party, and he came out during the birthday party to do this for his girlfriend, thinking that this is going to be a very romantic gesture in front of all her friends.
Yeah, he has like the keyboard. Did he presses play on like a drum beat?
Like a loop. Yeah, exactly. But I think that like while this is happening, there's some other guy in the room, right? Or maybe even just like girlfriends of hers, that are also that are also very much on her side, right? So like they're laughing or he's laughing, and that she's laughing at him as well, and there's kind of this bond that it paints her as being maybe rude at the very least, but also possibly just an outright bitch.
Yeah, well, it's like, what if he's the only guy there.
Okay.
And it's her and like a group, maybe 10.
Yeah, not very
of
many.
Like
yeah.
of like her girlfriends or whatever, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
And whenever and they're like doing their little thing where they're like all laughing and having a good time.
Very much
And
enjoying
that-
themselves.
That's like the
Oblivious
opening,
to him.
and he like goes off screen like in the background or whatever, and we're like with them and they're chatting, and it's, you know, like just whatever conversation.
Right.
And then he comes out and he's like, hey everybody, and they all like kind of stop and they kind of look at him like, what? And then he's like,
Wait. So I don't even know if he even says, hey everybody. I think he comes out and like does one of those like you know,
and then like the feedback really bad on the microphone.
yeah, like it's really awkward.
He's like, I wrote a song for
Shelby. This is for my Shelby.
And like we get a shot of all the girls and even Shelby herself, like they kind of look at each other and like a couple of them like roll their eyes.
Yeah.
And like a couple of them put a hand over their mouths, like already trying to not laugh.
And I think this is 2009. So we can also say that even at this time, there are people like texting on their flip phone still.
Yeah,
like,
they have
like
that
almost
one
like
that like swivels up. You remember that one?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And like maybe even like a close up on one of the screens that just says, "Oh my God, Carlos!" Right? Like it just says, "Oh my God, Carlos!"
Yes.
LOL, and then send. That's all it says, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, like we're painting the picture that like pretty much nobody really likes him, and the only reason that they're dating is because maybe she, you know, I don't know.
What if this friend is sending that to Shelby, and Shelby is like looking at her phone and she replies like, "I know," or some shit like that. Like, "I know, LOL," or some shit like that. Like she's being very mean. He hasn't even started yet.
I think it's I know, and then maybe even it's been 8 months of this.
Yeah. I know. 8 months.
Yeah. Send. Right. Yeah.
And then it's when he's like, "Happy birthday, Shelby."
And then I love you so much.
On the little electronic keyboard.
It clears his throat again. Yeah, and like they're already like snickering and like really trying to hold back, right? And he
but
like,
he's like into the song.
Oh yeah, because he's into her.
He doesn't notice.
He's passionate. And because he yearns not only for her love but also for his talent to be recognized.
Yes, his love for music is almost equal.
Yes.
So we've set the stage. She's a fucking asshole.
A couple lines of lyrics, and then out. One of the lines ends in a way, maybe it doesn't quite rhyme, or it's a really forced rhyme, or whatever. But that's what sets off the laughing fit between everybody, and maybe even like right before the laughing fit happens. Actually, so we hear the failed rhyme, the forced rhyme, and then we cut back to someone's screen. And we see them type out that same rhyme, you know, and then question mark, LOL, and then sends back to Shelby. She reads it and she starts to bust out laughing.
There's somebody that is like is kind of trying to sneakily get like a shitty flip phone video of him performing.
So then he stops and says, like, you know, "Hey, this isn't funny. You know, I wrote this. It took me months to come up with this, knowing that your birthday was coming up. And I really, you know, put a lot of thought into this for you." And then she goes, "Okay, yeah, you know, go ahead." And then, you know, some snickers in the group, of course, but everyone calms down. And then he starts again, and literally the first pluck of the guitar pick, the string breaks. So you got that. And then everyone starts to laugh again. But he keeps going, even though it sounds even worse now. Okay, so I think that's brilliant. But now how do we get from that to the rage-filled vent breakup, and then I want to say that I don't think his girlfriend slams the guitar on his head. I think a friend of hers does it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like it's like her best friend, wingman type girlfriend, that she's the one that does that to Carlos because he's getting so emotional, enraged with his passion for her, and having put up with all of her crap, from his perspective, that he's maybe approaching Shelby, or he's getting closer to her, or whatever, and Kimberly grabs the guitar and slams it across his head as a shouting match takes place. Maybe that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he just vents. He just vents about her never paying attention to his music, and not wanting to spend time together. And she's just like, Carlos, your music sucks.
Yeah.
Every music you have is like the worst. I hate it.
I love the line being like that too. Every music you have
Sucks, and I hate it. And he's like, what do you mean you hate it? Like I gave you the aux cord, and you just played my stuff. And she was like, yeah, I just did that so we wouldn't have to talk, because you would just shut up and listen to your own stuff, and I could just have peace. And he's like, why are we even together? Like why have we even been dating? Which is a question we need to ask, I guess. Why have they stayed together for 8 months if she really doesn't like him that much?
Yeah.
Why did they even get together in the first place? Was it a petty arrangement? Was it was she desperate? Because I think he asked her that. I think he's intelligent enough emotionally to be like, why are we even dating? And then she, that kind of is the maybe the peak of the vent.
What if it's something fucked up, like...
Sure.
Like, what if all of her friends all agreed to give her, like... $200 each if she could stay if she could stay with him for a year.
Oh wow! So it was more like a dare,
yeah.
Okay, I mean, fuck it.
If she could put up with his shit for a year, they would each give him like $500 or something, like all 10 of her friends, something like that.
Yeah. Oh sure, why not? Yeah. So then I say that, like, Shelby, as we're calling her, is too embarrassed in this moment to say that. So Carlos asks her, why are we even dating? And then he or she doesn't give a response. And then that's whenever one of her gaggle of friends chimes up and admits the truth. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, is this true? And she's like, yeah. Like, it was all just a dare, basically.
Yeah.
And then he starts to go closer to her, like he's just so fucking pissed off. He starts to walk towards her, maybe a little, aggravated or with anger. And that's whenever Kimberly grabs the guitar from behind him and just smashes him over the head. Yeah. Okay. And then I think he blacks out. So then he wakes up after party, right? And how do we tie this into the rest of the film? Like, this is now...
So my thought was, because the way the other thing was set up, it talked about how his friends and family are kind of overhearing him.
Yeah, right.
They're over all this shit like this. So I was thinking, for comedic sake, it's a ridiculously long time has passed since that happened. So we have the title card. We have the card that says 10 months later or something, and he's still fucking depressed, and he's sitting there. He's I don't know. He's with his family doing something.
No, I say he's sitting there,
at home.
I say he's sitting there in the basement or wherever that scene was that still you showed me, right on the couch, and he still has the guitar that was smashed over his head. Right, he's not replaced that.
It's duct taped together.
No, I don't even think he's done much to do anything, because I think that he doesn't want to move on. right? That's kind of the point here. Okay, so he still has the smash guitar. He's still in that same mindset of those last few moments of realizing that his whole relationship has been a dare basically, and that he's unlovable or whatever, and everyone's kind of fed up with him. And I think this is how we tie it in with the Harmony character, is that Harmony comes over to like check on him or whatever. And again, we're making all this up, not knowing anything about this movie. So this is guaranteed to be completely wrong.
Couch
this is our version of Harmony and me, just to remind everybody. But to tie this back in, so Harmony comes over to check on him, like, "Hey, Carlos, like I haven't heard from you in like fucking 4 months. Like, dude, you got to move on. Like, you got to like at least make music again." And that's whenever either Harmony had a guitar himself,
like gives him a new guitar,
or got him a new guitar.
Yeah.
And that's how we get that story rolling. That's where with them
starts the moving on, like very slowly,
very slowly, and very untalented with this guy still thinking he can play guitar and sing.
Yeah.
But this one Harmony guy is sticking with him, knowing that this buffoon who trips over his own feet and whatever,
steps on a rake in the front lawn,
all that bad luck stuff. He needs somebody to kind of help him get through and to get back to yearning for something better. Okay, I like that. We're gonna write that one too.
Yeah. What's our version called?
Shelby and Me.
Yeah, there we go.
It'll be called Harmony and no. I don't know. Something to work on that. What would it be called? What is called Harmony and Me, because no one knows about this movie either, and we'll just have a different, not necessarily better or worse beginning to. So is that how our film begins?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the opening.
Okay. I like it, and I also like the idea that this guitar, the original guitar, never gets thrown away until maybe the very end. Right, like the very, 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 very end of the film, he finally, like, that's like the symbolized, I've moved on, right? He finally throws, but the entire film, the entire other 60 minutes of the movie, this guitar is like laying around this basement, and he keeps like tripping over it. He keeps, stumbling over it, setting on it accidentally. It's always in the way, both as a physical comedy aspect, but also as a reminder that he hasn't yet moved on from that moment. Yeah. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, I do too.
And it'll be called, how about this? It'll be called Twang. Like whatever the sound of a broken string.
It'll be. I don't know. I don't have a good title to give it.
And I do. It'll be called Harmony or Me.
One of at the end, the last scene, it's Russian roulette.
It gets really drastic at the very end. He goes so dark. It's just fucking Harmony or Me. I can't take this anymore, Shelby. He finds out that like Shelby's dating Harmony now, like halfway through. Like Harmony's helped him, so and he's kind of like bonded with this guy, and then he finds out all along that like Shelby and him are banging. He's just like, God, it's either Harmony or Me. Like. At the end, only one survives.
He has the fucking gun. It's gotta be him or me. But one of us isn't walking out of this room.
and he fucking like pulls the trigger and like it just misfires. It's like, oh shit! Everyone laughs at him again.
Oh gosh!
What was that called again? In fucking 60 minutes, it goes from this really depressing opening scene to this really depressing ending scene. We don't even like move the character anywhere. He just gets a new guitar. That's all it is. That's the whole character arc. It's just he gets a new guitar. He still sucks. He still can't rhyme with anything. He still hasn't shaved. Yeah.